What we are going to look at today is to have a look of the folder structure of React application. So the first one is the node modules. Okay, so when we open it, we have a bunch of subfolders inside that. Okay, so these folders these folders we see here help us to what? Run React application. React needs some dependencies and packages to run. And all those files and folders are inside our node modules. Okay, so when you're developing React application, you are not going to work with this folder, right? And even if you're trying to push to GitHub, you have to ignore this folder, right? So you are not going to make any changes to this folder throughout your React application. Okay, and the next one is a public folder. Okay, so let's open it and we see some couple of files, the favicon.ico, right? If you go to the browser, let's see our React app. I have a new install React application. So if you see here, you can see we have an React application icon here. That is where it's coming from. Okay, so what you need to take note from this file, from this folder, is the index.html file. Okay, we will have a look at this index.html file in the next lesson. Okay, so don't worry about what all these things work together, but remember that the index.html file is inside our public folder, and React is a single page application, so you have only one HTML where we can embed all other components to display into our web page. Okay, so all these files, the SVG, the logo, and manifest.json file, are not important for us. Okay, so take note of this index.html file, which is inside our public folder. And the next one is the SRC. This will be your bread and cake, right? You are going to put your custom code, your logic inside the SRC. So when you open it, we have a bunch of files. One is the app.css, right? The CSS that give out the style of this application with a gray like black background, as we see. That is coming from the CSS file from this. And we have one file called app.js. Okay, and this is a component. We will have a look at it in the next upcoming videos. Okay, and we have app.test. We are not going to make use of these ones as well. And the most important files we need to take note here is the app.js and the index.js. Okay, the index.js file is the entry point that renders our application. Okay, don't worry about the syntax. You have a look as well. And the logo, the SVG, and the report, the web vitals. This is used for measure performance in application, right? So you're not going to make use of this and then set up, right? So basically, that is the most important folder you have to take note of. SRC. Take note that the SRC folder is where you're going to put your business logic. Okay, your custom files, your pictures, your images will be inside the SRC folder. And the next file is git.ignore, right? So when opening this git.ignore, what it says is that there are some folders or there are some files you don't need. This comes into play when you push your project to GitHub. You don't need to include node modules, because when somebody clone your project on GitHub and he ran the command, for example, yarn install or npm init npm install, it will install all these packages. So we don't need, so we have to exclude this one into GitHub, right? And the next one is a package.json file, right? The package.json file describe how your application works, right? So it contains some script that runs our application, and the package.json file is used to manage our dependencies and our external dependencies that you're going to install when you're working with React.js. And it also contains some script that we use to run our React application. Remember, anytime you want to run React application, you make use of npm start or yarn start, and it will trigger this script to run application. So with this file, you're going to make use of this as well. So this important one for now here is a package.json file and then the SRC for now. And we have a look details as we move on to this course. And the last one is a readme. Okay, This one contains the description of your project. You can describe what your application is all about. Okay, maybe application, the requirement, whatever. You can put it inside your readme.md file. Okay, so guys, basically that's how the whole folder structure works. If you don't get it, don't worry, it will be okay as you move on through this course.